Hi there, it's Rachel from scrapea&happy.blogspot.com with another Let's Get Crafty video. This is card 3 in a series that is all about vintage, shabby chic, and I'm making these 6 cards as part of a set for purse set that I could use as a gift for Christmas or something like that. So this is what the finished card is going to look like, and I'm going to show you the steps to making this card. So the first thing that you're going to need is an A2 size card. I just used cream cardstock, and I've gone through and embossed it with the Cuttlebug embossing folder. In this episode I thought I would show you how I use the distress tool. And as you can see, I'm just dragging it across. It's kind of a racket, but that's okay. So I just drag it across and along the bottom here. And that's what's going to give you the rough in edged. So then what I'm going to do is take my Dyke Brown ink and just rub it along the edges to make it look aged. And then I'm also going to gently just rub it along the Swiss dots to give that aged look, like that. Okay, now the next part of this card is to use a Flourish. Now this Flourish came from the Serenade Cricut cartridge, and I'm not sure of the sizes of this because I just cut it out and designed the card in my Gypsy. So what I'm going to just do is just ink a little bit of this up. Okay, and then I'm going to glue this down onto the card. That's the first sort of layer of the card here. So I'm going to use my Zig 2-way pen. I should have my tweezers out, but I don't. So I'll just stick it down with my good old fingers. So I want it to be like that. There, okay. So I also corner rounded the edges, so I'm going to do that now. I just use my Zutter corner rounder, which means I am going to have to ink those edges up again. Okay, now the next part of this card is the flower. Now this was cut out with American Crafts paper, but it was pink and brown, which was what inspired me for this card to begin with. But it was too new looking. So what I went ahead and did is first ran it through an embossing folder. This is a Crafts 2 embossing folder. I'm not sure what the name of it is, but you can use whatever you have in your stash. And then I went through and glimmer misted this with the copper brown glimmer color. And so that actually gets pop dotted up onto the card. So I've gone ahead and stuck that down already. And then the next part of this card is the bird cage, and this also came from the Serenade cartridge. So what I wanted to have depth to make this card look realistic. So what I just went ahead and did is glued the bird cage. It's very delicate, and I didn't use the best of paper. It was in my stash and it's quite delicate. So all you do is just glue that down to the flower because it's already gone ahead. And then what I did is added some pop dots after. It's probably a backwards way of doing it, but then I had everything in position properly. Came off anyway, so we'll just go with it. Okay, so I've gone ahead and attached the bird cage. Now the next step is to add this bird. Now the bird is actually from a Martha Steward set, and I hate to say it, but this is the first time that I have used this this stamp, and I've had it for quite a few years. I fell in love with it when birds were really starting to come in, and I for some reason just didn't end up using it. Didn't really, although I like techniques, I just find that sometimes they don't work when I'm doing them. So I'm just putting in the pink here, and just, you can just see it's really rough. I'm not rubbing my pen too much. And then I'm going to cut it out. Okay, so this is what the bird looks like all cut out. And then I want it to have this vintage feel here, like this one does. So what I went ahead and did is just took my Dyke Brown and just inked all the edges. And then just ran it gently across to get the colored desired effect. So then that's what it looks like this. So you can see when I cut it out, I actually cut the legs off, but not to worry, because it's going to go now onto the bird cage. And I think what I'm going to do is, with the last one, I had it over more. This one is slightly different, so I'm just going to put some pop dots down first and then put the bird on over top. And I'm sorry, I have no nails, so it's taking forever to take this backing off. So there, the bird's going to be stuck down. And because it has no legs, that's why I went ahead and used this flower. And I've started with my cards, with some of my embellishments, using my glue gun rather than my quick dry adhesive. It's fast, and I just find it's holding better. You have to deal with the stickiness, but if you just run your heat embossing tool over it at the end, it just melts those little stickies away that you might encounter or see. So that's what the card looks like. And then I'm going to take some ribbon that's from my stash, and then we're just going to tie it across the top here. And what I like about this is the sheer color of it. Now I cut this super long, so I'm going to make the bow a bit different on this card. And being that it's part of a set, and one card is going in the purse of 6 cards, it's okay if they don't all look exactly the same, because not everybody's going to see what the original card looked like. Okay, so ribbon goes on there. And then the last part is to add a sentiment. And again, for this card, the sentiment that I'm using comes from the Elegant Edges cartridge. And as I showed you with the pink, I took the cream ones and I cut them out at 1.5, all different shapes and sizes, to get a sense of what was on that cartridge. And these are fabulous for this kind of project and your sentiments. And they're already, if you have them already to go, it makes your life so much easier when it comes time to crafting. You're not making a perfect one if you're in a hurry to make cards, or if you're not in a hurry, well, they're great. Now, the stamps that I used for the Cherish stamps, it's an oldie but a goodie. I'd kind of forgotten about this and was looking through what I had in my stash, and these stamps have a whole bunch of different sayings. So the one I'm going to use was Cherish. And so what I'm just going to use is my brown Stays On ink to stamp that down, if I can find it here. Okay, so I have my brown Stays On ink, and this is a magnet, but I just didn't pull it out. It's just sometimes easier to do it this way. Oh, see, I got the lines. That's why you don't use the, that's why you need to use the, that's better. Then I'll just go and ink the edges again. And you're just going to use your foam tape to attach this. And the last step is just some bling, and ironically, this is new to my stash. I just bought this yesterday in the $1.50 section at Michael's. It's just an amber set with some little butterflies. I think I might get some more of those. And there is the finished vintage shabby chic card. So again, I'm in the process of making 6 of these. You can see one's just slightly different than the other in terms of placement, but it still has the same overall effect. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Let's Get Crafty, and happy crafting. Take care. Bye-bye.